When you begin to study trigonometry, you are going to focus on right triangles. Now, I think we all have an idea about what we mean by a right triangle or a right angle. I'm going to define it anyway. Let's suppose we have a straight line. We'll suppose that this line is straight. Okay. Now we have another straight line crossing that first straight line. If these two angles are the same, let's assume they are, then they are right angles. And that's simply what we mean by a right angle. Now, another term that we'll use is 90 degrees, and we will say that two angles can add up to 90 degrees. Right? Like, for example, let's say that this one is 45 and this one is 45. Then they both add up to being a right angle or 90 degrees. So here's our straight line, and here's another straight line crossing through it, and we have two 90-degree angles, and we can draw them with these little squares, and that tells us that they're 90 degrees. Now, I'm going to draw another line parallel to the first. And again, you probably have an idea of what I mean by parallel, but I will just make it explicit. If we continue this line and this line indefinitely in this direction, they'll never cross. And likewise in this direction, they'll never cross. So the diagram really, it doesn't change no matter how far you go in either direction, except of course for this line that's crossing them. Now, that being the case, this angle here and this angle here, they're also right angles. In fact, every angle here is a right angle. So I'm going to mess that up a little bit and draw a line through here. All right, so now we've got an angle here, and I don't know, let's just call that A, and we'll call this angle B. And then I'm going to draw a line parallel to the vertical line, and I will draw it through here. Now, remember, these are all right angles, everything except for A and B. So that must mean that this is a right angle right here, and this is a right angle right here. So whatever this angle is here, that adds up. A plus this angle here is a right angle, and B plus this angle here is a right angle. But this is angle A, and this is angle B. We've just split this rectangle. Almost looks like a square, but it doesn't have to be. It's a rectangle. We have split it, and we see that angle A and angle B together add up to a right angle. And the same with over here, A and B add up to a right angle. So A plus B equals, and we'll put it as 90 degrees. So the question is, let's ask this. If A is 30 degrees, what's B going to be? Remember, it adds up to 90 degrees. Likewise, if A is 45 degrees, what's B going to be? Okay, and we could do this for anything. 10 degrees. If A is 10 degrees, what's B going to be? Because remember, it all has to add up to 90 degrees. And I'm belaboring this point because it's extremely important. You're going to use this over and over again in your study of trigonometry. So much so that we have a fancy name for angles when they add up to 90 degrees. And we say that they are complementary. They complete each other, or they complement each other. And that's complementary with an E, not with an I. Okay? So they're not. A isn't telling B, what a nice suit it's wearing, and B isn't telling A how clever it is. It's not that kind of complementary. They are complementary in that they both add up together to 90 degrees. Okay, so now I've made a huge, very busy picture here. So let me just draw it down here. Whenever you have a right triangle, that's a right angle. Then, guaranteed, this angle here, which I'll use different letters. I'll use C and D, for example. However you want to represent them, they both add up to 90 degrees. Guaranteed. And we're focusing on that because at the beginning of studying trigonometry, we're always going to be dealing with these right angle triangles or right triangles. So keep that in mind.